What's up, everybody? It's your boys, AB and Jaboozle, and welcome to another episode of the Beyond Mobile Gaming Podcast, what is it? BMP for short, Beyond Mobile Podcast. We're going to start printing t-shirts and hats and everything, a bunch of merch.
Hell yeah, dude. Milk them for all they got.
Welcome to the podcast, guys. And today we have a bunch of really cool and interesting topics for you guys today. Everything from mobile gaming to, gaming landscape and just really cool topics. And I hope you guys are excited for it. Big shout out to Jaboozle. What up, Jab? How you doing, broski?
I've been doing good, dude. It's been raining like crazy in California. Haven't really been able to do much. But yeah, excited to do another podcast episode, of course. And
what's up, guys?
to get
Jaboozle
back. I don't know why I felt it coming.
I had to do it to him.
Yeah, it's been I don't know if many people knows I haven't really been uploading in the last week or so. So it's nice to come back and do another podcast episode and kind of try to get back into the swing of things. But yeah, like AB said, we got a bunch of interesting topics for you guys here today. Did you want to open with one or
yeah, bro? I got the perfect one. Because over here on the Beyond Mobile Podcast, we talk about all of the trending topics, and we're going to start off by talking about Drake's recent leaks.
Oh, wow.
I'm just kidding, bro. No, we're not going to do that, no.
Oh, man.
Yeah, we're not going to touch that one. I'm just kidding.
That would be a funny one, though.
No, it's not funny. Have you seen? Do you know what I'm talking about?
I haven't seen the actual thing, but I know the topic.
Yeah, okay, never mind. Yeah. Drake released new music, guys. That's it.
Yeah, new album dropped. That's all that happened.
If you I'm pretty sure you had one about iFerg, one of mobile gaming's biggest content creators. Did you want to start off with that topic there?
Yeah, sure. So I can go ahead and share my screen right here. Give me one sec. Okay. So, we had a little bit of an interesting topic come out in the last few days or so. It looks like this is from February 5th. And so the mobile drama guy, tweeted out saying that messages have been released showing Ferg's team offering pay to those who post about and dick ride Ferg every day. Is this W or L marketing? And it's basically just a screen grab from, I guess, their private Discord, where one of Ferg's like main guys is basically tweeting out, I guess, like the rules and sort of stipulations of what these guys have to do. Basically mentioning that they've got to, post like positive tweets about Ferg and stuff like that. And it was actually like a competition. As you guys can see here, it says the prizes are going to be $300 for first place, $150 for second place, et cetera, et cetera. So basically just offering like cash incentives to post about Ferg, essentially like every day in a positive manner. And basically doing, things like this, like, if you get 1,000 impressions, we'll, consider it double. And so basically just incentives to get them to keep posting positively about Ferg. And so this kind of came out and it kind of confirmed, or I wouldn't say confirmed, but it kind of just sort of put it in the air now that I guess like, oh, Ferg is paying people to, say good things about him on Twitter and stuff like that. And I guess he kind of defended it and his team kind of defended it, basically saying like this was a good way to give back to his community and also sort of market his channel and his brand and stuff like that, which is an interesting way of looking at it and stuff. But yeah, this was really crazy to kind of see. What did you think about it, AB?
I saw this and I saw the follow-up to this, and I do follow the mobile gaming drama guy, and I saw these posts and I don't know if anybody was really surprised. I mean, I wasn't too surprised about, I guess the I guess like the monetization behind. Basically, some people call this like marketing, right? Some people look at it as marketing, but with these, like you post, and the more posts you get or impressions you get, you're gonna get some money for it. And so it kind of it creates like this community of like people just like spamming like positive iFerg things, and it just kind of spreads out throughout social media, and it's gonna constantly paint Ferg in like a positive light. And this is coming after all of those like Sanho beef and like Hawk's Nest beef. And so I don't know if he's kind of trying to like come back in like a positive light, or if everything in the past has always been like some kind of like impression farming scheme, because that's kind of what it feels like they're doing. They've created an impression farming scheme, and maybe there is a whole marketing tactic behind it, because now we have leaked images of conversations. And can you really believe anything that you ever read about these guys? Because there's people clearly doing it just for the money. you know you know
Mhm.
I remember we mentioned before, they're surrounded by a bunch of yes men who don't necessarily challenge them. And here
Yeah.
goes some more blatant just meat writing, I guess you can call it. I called it fake love. People that don't really care about you or don't really feel positively about you, but if there's some money behind it, they're gonna post whatever you want them to post. I think it's a little weird, but I mean, if it's quote unquote marketing, whatever, it's nothing new. What do you think, man?
Yeah, I actually commented on it. Obviously you replied to that as well. I essentially just said like I do think it is legitimate marketing because his end goal is exposure, right? So he's paying people to give him more exposure, so that part in it is I guess successful. But I also mentioned it now opens up the question whether any or all appreciation posts and comments are just hashtag ad by Ferg. Like, are they just paid for by Ferg and stuff? um Now looking back at all of the, I think he mentioned that like this is something we've only done for like the last month or so, but you know they were very clearly trying to keep this private. I think they even mentioned like keep it low key and stuff. Yeah, like this is a competition that's not public, so it's not to be discussed with others in public, blah blah, blah. So we don't really know exactly like how long were they doing this. Have they done this before? Have they done anything similar? Maybe not competition related, but maybe just paying certain accounts to say positive things about Ferg. It opens up this whole door of like, well, have all of these tweets and have all of these appreciation posts and stuff about Ferg just been paid for by him or by his team and stuff like that. So I feel like it's kind of a double-edged sword. Like, yeah, it gets his name out there more, and it gets him, those impressions and stuff like that. But at the same time, like now you're known for paying people to say positive things about you. So it's kind of it's kind of like a weird thing to sort of have. Like you would think that that love and stuff would come naturally, but like you said in your reply to it, like it's just fake love for the sake of money, essentially. um so yeah, it's just a very weird thing. You mentioned right now too the whole like being surrounded by yes men and things like that. I feel like if this was like, instead of Ferg, if this was a content creator that wasn't necessarily like universally loved, like maybe Iros or something like that, and it came out that he was paying people to do that, I feel like people would be
Ooh,
hating on this a lot more.
that's a good point.
But since it's Ferg, it's like, no, he's actually doing like a 400 IQ play, and this is like great marketing and things like that. And so it just feels like kind of more like that. Like it's just like, you know, a lot of things have come out about Ferg or people in that circle and stuff, and I feel like they don't really get that type of criticism that I think most people would probably get if they did something like this. Um, and I feel like this was just another example of that. We obviously talked a few podcast episodes ago about the whole Ferg reacting to people's content without actually giving them any credit or things like that. And people were defending him even in that. Like these big content creators were even defending him in that situation and stuff like that. And so I feel like, yeah, like at this point, it's just kind of, I don't know. It's just kind of weird. We are coming off the back of a pretty interesting drama sort of related thing, Ferg versus Hawk's Nest. We talked about that in the last episode and stuff. So that already that's kind of what gives me like a negative impression with this whole thing, because we talked about how when it was Ferg versus Hawk's Nest and their whole debate, he was live streaming and telling people like, go like my tweet, go like my tweet, because he wanted to have those impressions, and he wanted to, I guess, seem like he was right because he had more likes or whatever. And now we're finding out like he's even paying people, incentives and stuff just to say positive things about him literally every single day. So it's kind of weird. I don't know.
Yeah,
I
comes comes
personally,
across kind of scummy in a way.
yeah, and this was like basically his defense. He said like this is something that we came up with, but we stopped after doing it for a month. It helped the people involved and was a good way to give back to the community, but blah blah blah. That kind of like makes it think like, oh yeah, we were doing this more to help the community and to help myself, and I just don't really buy that. When it comes to this too, he's like, we actually got the idea because other big streamers in the world do this, and they have agencies working for them that do this exact thing, like Speed, Kai, Aiden Ross, et cetera, and all that stuff. So kind of being like, oh, this is not something new. Like we're just doing what the other big guys are doing, so it's okay and stuff like that. But like, I mean, these are not even really content creators that are seen in the best light. So I don't know why that would be like a positive thing. But yeah, overall, it's not surprising, honestly, that this is even a thing, especially how desperate it seemed Ferg wanted to sort of have those like impressions and likes and to be told that he was right in the whole Hawksnest situation and stuff. So this coming out after that honestly does not surprise me.
Yeah, I like your point about if it was any other creator, even maybe maybe not even necessarily like a disliked creator, but even let's say someone like a smaller creator, like if let's say if this was me, let's say I had $100, and I told my community, hey, every time you guys post something about me, I'll give you guys $10 or whatever. You know, people are gonna be like, yo, this
Yeah,
dude's what a loser. He's paying his community to post about him. I would probably
yeah,
get roasted, bro. People would probably like if I did like a codm clip thing, and then people are like, oh, here's AB's amazing codm clip, and then I pay people $10 for the most impressions. People are gonna look at me like, what a loser. This guy is paying his fans to post about him. But literally, when it's
yeah.
someone big, like these multi-million subscriber follower channels, they're like, oh, smart play, good IQ. Oh, he's so amazing. I'm gonna do
Yeah,
it.
it's just it's a really weird thing, and it also kind of opens up the conversation too of like, okay, well, even if it is as he says, and it's just a way to give back to the community and stuff like that, like you have to kind of think too about like how can this be abused? Like if he's paying people to say good things about him, but it's just in a positive way and there's no real drama or anything attached to it, like okay, cool. But what happens when he's losing an argument online or something like that? And now he has this resource to kind of back him up to be like, no, 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 guys, go, go make sure that I look like I'm right online and stuff. And I think someone actually pointed that out. I'm not finding the actual the tweet, but it was a part of these leaked screenshots where I think one of them came out and it was during the whole Hawks Nest thing, and whoever was making these announcements was like, go, it had something to do with the Hawks Nest thing, and and basically were like, they said something about oh, I think it's right here actually.
We need to reply to
uh
Hawks betraying Ferg.
yeah, so very clearly this is something that has already technically kind of been abused, because this is something like Ferg is speaking on stream, broskies. If you guys want to clip it, get a lot of impressions. I'm not posting it. I get targeted like crazy. Please, Abba, whatever. At Twitter, we need to reply to Hawks betraying Ferg. So this is something. This is like his main guy, by the way, too. I'm pretty sure this is like his community manager. Or something. I don't exactly know. Um, but this is obviously like something like, oh, okay. So this wasn't just about giving back to the community and giving them money and sort of doing everything in a positive way. This is very clearly like, oh, Ferg's in a controversy with Hawksnest. We need to make sure that Ferg wins. So go reply to this tweet here to make it seem like Ferg is right, Hawksnest is wrong, or whatever. So that's kind of weird, and that to me comes from like a place of like sort of insecurity and like and just the need for winning online arguments or whatever. So that's kind of why I don't think this is really a good idea either. He's apparently said he was only doing it for a month and they're not doing it anymore. But I think he did respond, being like, "Should we bring it back and stuff like that?" Because again, people were actually like defending him and stuff. Um, but yeah, it's just a really weird situation, man. I don't
Yeah,
know why
it's
people
weird.
care.
It's so
Yeah,
weird.
I don't. I don't know why people care about like likes and impressions and stuff. So point of
Man,
like now let me pay people to defend me on Twitter.
I know like dude already has like 3 million subscribers. He gets like hundreds of thousands of views of video. He's obviously liked. You know, he's probably one of the most liked content creators out there, or mobile content creators out there. And dude,
Right.
dude doesn't stand there. He has to have the most likes, and he has to be validated in everything he does. Oh, he's so weird and cringy.
I
And
mean, that kind of comes with the territory though, right? When you're kind of surrounded by people that want to be your friend or want to be associated with you, so they kind of always, say positive things about you or ignore when you say something dumb or do something dumb and things like that. It's essentially the whole yes men thing. And I guess it probably comes from that, like the need to always be right now, and the need to always feel like, yeah, the people are on my side, sort of thing. And yeah, I don't know. I personally, I even if this is like good marketing to grow a channel or whatever, I could not see myself paying people to say positive things about me on Twitter. That to me just seems kind of crazy. And then to go even further and then like have your team and your group of people being like, guys, go go reply to this controversy thing because Ferg's losing right now and we need to make it seem like he's winning or whatever. Um, it's just such a weird situation, and
yeah,
some of the things that these big content creators find themselves in.
so weird, so
Yeah,
weird. Yeah,
but
and yeah, weird, just weird.
yeah, that's really what all I can kind of like sum it up as. It's weird. It's kind of crazy. Like I said earlier, I don't think this is the support that he got. I don't think that would apply to me or you or any content creator who might be seen sort of negatively in the mobile space or whatever. But because it's it's the big guy, you know, apparently this is like genius 400 IQ level marketing, and we're all kind of just but yeah, that was pretty much that topic. Did you want to go ahead and move us on to the next one?
Yeah, speaking of iFerg and the codm community, I would like to segue into a topic regarding codm for PC. Let me screen
Ooh,
share this for you.
yeah, go ahead and
Right here. Okay, hopefully you can see that. Is it sharing?
it's loading up.
Okay,
Excuse
sorry,
me.
my bad internet.
No worries.
Let's see if it's actually working. Come on, baby. Come on, baby. Don't do me like this, baby. Come on,
Let me
baby.
see if closing it and opening
Let
it.
me try it again.
Oh, it says,
Let
yeah, it
me,
says stream has ended.
yeah, let me try that again. About now. I got the little red square, so hopefully it's working now. Okay, should be streaming
Ooh.
now.
Yes.
Awesome. Yeah, so a few weeks or like a couple weeks back, there were some leaks of of COD of an official COD M version for PC. Right now, currently, you can if you want to play the game on PC, you can play with an emulator. You can use Game Loop, which is the essentially the official version, the official emulator to play COD M. Shout out to you, Jeb. You're the one that put me on game. Recently, my mobile phone, my Samsung's Type C port busted, so I haven't been able to make content on my mobile phone. But I've been able to use the emulator to play COD Mobile, and it tracks your progress. It has your login information, so you're able to pull up all of your account stuff. It's been a really cool way to continue playing COD M on PC. But unfortunately,
Yeah.
the emulator isn't perfect. One of the biggest struggles that I have with the emulator are the key binding and some of like the controller mapping and stuff like that. It isn't like fluid. It's not optimized. And there was news, there were some leaks of an official, like finally an official PC version of COD M. And it turns out that, well, at least according to the COD Mobile like official Discord, someone asked, I guess, like the moderation team or whatever, if will that PC version ever go global? And someone replied, oh, for sorry, let me backtrack a little. The PC
Mhm.
version of the game is being tested in China and China only. Uh, it's still like a little early. They started testing I believe about a week ago, and there are methods to get on those playtests. There is a big Call of Duty content creator named Merc Music. He probably is like one of the biggest ones that is playing the PC version right now. So in order to download and play the game, you need to go to a certain website, and then you need to have access to a QQ account or a WeChat account. And me, as an American, as I think a lot of Americans were probably not too familiar with those kinds of like accounts, because I believe that's mostly like in Asia, China specific. So I don't have access. I haven't gotten access to the PC version, but there are ways to play it. People are playing it, and it looks amazing. It looks fantastic. It looks like everything that I've been wanting for a PC version of COD, but it looks like it may not be happening after all. At least not the way these guys are wording it. So this person in Discord asked, Will global be getting the PC version of COD M that COD M received in the future?" I don't even know what the hell that means, but they kind of asked it a little weird. But I think this person is essentially asking, when can we expect the COD M version for PC to go global? And this community leader responded with, "Hey there. So the COD M team is focused on delivering amazing new content and experiences to players on mobile devices around the world, and there are no current plans for a standalone PC version. Our partners on COD M at Tencent are simply testing an optimized emulator." So it's I don't know. It's a little confusing, and it's a little contradictory to me, because the PC version looks like it's launch you can launch it through an executable, like it's its own certain file that you can launch on its own client. You don't need to run a separate emulator to launch the game. And that's clear because we've seen how like Merc Music is playing it. And even in the comment
Right.
section, people are saying here too, no, it's not an emulator. It's a native version. Even if the launcher says that, I don't know what the CODM community manager is on. The game has the usual Unity game file structure. You can even launch it directly from the executable without going through the launcher, which is literally what I was just saying. Like it has its
Oh,
own executable right there. There's the COD M executable. Basically, you can launch it directly from your PC. You don't need another, emulator to launch the game, and it'll run on its own. So the way that this guy's saying that it's part of it's a fancy emulator, I don't know what's exactly going on, but this is a little contradictory to everything that we've seen so far. I don't know if maybe they're just not ready to announce it, or maybe this manager doesn't have the full information. But if they don't launch an official PC version, then I don't know what they're testing necessarily. Because you would think that
yeah.
they're either testing a better emulator or creating a better emulator, or then what is this PC version? Like what's going to happen? Are they going to add this to game loop? Like, it's a little confusing. And it's just interesting to see. Me, I'm really really hoping that they do launch like an official PC version with like its own, servers and whatnot. But I mean, if it's just an optimized emulator, I mean, I don't know. I don't even know how that would work with like game loop. Like, will there be like a
Yeah.
different launcher? Like, what's gonna happen here? It's kind of tricky. But
Yeah, I don't know. I definitely think it is possible that this community manager or whatever doesn't have all the full information and might just be speaking out of, like what they think and rather, what they know for sure. Um, because it doesn't really make sense to just make another emulator version, even if it is, coming with some upgrades and stuff like that. Um, especially like you showed, like it has its own executable file and it's its own thing. I've never ever heard of a game that is a standalone game but is still an emulator version of that. Like I've never heard of that before. So that would be very interesting if that was the case. I think it could probably just be that this community manager maybe doesn't know exactly what they're talking about, or maybe this is what they are supposed to say because technically they haven't like fully announced, the actual CODM PC version, and they haven't like released any official statements saying like this is coming to the global market and things like that. So maybe this is, maybe it's kind of like when, you know, when people ask Nintendo like when's the new Nintendo Switch coming out, and they go like right now we don't have anything in the works, like we're focused on Nintendo Switch, but
Right.
you know they're making a new like, it might just be the PR, you know, sort of thing that they're meant to say. But yeah, I just like you, I do hope that they actually are making an actual PC version of COD Mobile, because I made a video on this. Like, I think it would not only spring a lot more life into COD Mobile, because it would be brought to a market that hasn't played the game yet. So all of these years of content is going to be fresh to them and new, and they're starting off, you know, just now in 2024. They're probably going to continue playing the game into the next year, and then the year after that, and year after that, and stuff like that. So it could essentially solidify COD Mobile as like, you know, still a live service game for years to come. And it would just be cool to have a free to play alternative of a Call of Duty game on PC, besides just, you know, Warzone or whatever, since that's obviously so vastly different and things like that. It would be great for people with lower end computers and things like that. Like, it would just have so many benefits if this was obviously an actual, you know, standalone PC game. And yeah, I personally, I hope it is still true. I do think there is a good possibility that this guy's probably just giving a PR statement, or just doesn't know what he's talking about.
A little bit of both, maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
But yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
this is one of my most highly like anticipated, I guess you can call it, like, you know, upcoming games.
Hmm.
The official PC version, because I would love it. Like, I play on the emulator all the time now, and I would love to stick to it. But just to keep binding the controls and some of the weird things that the game does, like, I would love for a better version. And yeah, if they can make this happen, dude, they would like make my year. People were asking me after those, like, our videos went live, you know, when can we expect this? When will it launch globally? And from the gameplay that I have seen, like from Merc Music and, you know, his videos, I was like, dude, like, it looks ready to go. Like, it looks like they could literally launch it like within a few more months. And so my estimate was like, you know, most likely like this summer or something, to tie in with one of the seasons or with like a launch of a new game or something. Um,
Yeah.
but now, I mean, with these kind of statements, you know, I just hope it's like what you said. Maybe they're just, you know, they either don't know exactly, or this is just like their marketing to kind of like, you know, cover up a little bit, because there are no official announcements. You know, I don't think Call of Duty has officially announced these at all. These are strictly in China tests, and it's only available there. But yeah, I would love to see it coming to global. I would love to see this happen. I would probably be on it like all the time, like legit. Instead of having to upgrade my phone, you know, to another $1,000 device or whatever, I can just play on the PC that I have now, and it'll probably run COD Mobile for like, I don't know, probably like another 5 years.
Yeah, dude. Like, it would just be such a good thing. It would. There's so many people that I know in my personal life that thought that the idea of COD Mobile was so cool, like having all those classic guns and maps and all that stuff. But they just, you know, they don't want to play a first person shooter with touch controls, which is understandable. Like, some people just don't want to learn, or they're just not, you know, good with it or whatever, and they just want to play how they're comfortable with a mouse and keyboard on their computer or laptop or whatever. And so I genuinely think like if they did bring this to the global market on PC as a standalone game, like it would spring like a whole new like second life to COD Mobile. Because even if all the Android and iOS gamers are kind of bored of it now because they've been playing it for 4 years, like the entire PC market who don't play mobile games, they haven't even touched this game yet. So this is going to be brand new to them. You know, they're gonna probably play this for the next few years at least, especially if they keep updating it and stuff like that. And you also have to mention, I think they mentioned it. This person over here on the right says it looks like it's going to be doing what Bloodstrike and Farlight 84 are doing. Like, that's something that you have to keep in mind too. Like, a lot of these mobile games now are releasing not just on mobile but on PC as well. I think Undawn has an official PC version on Steam. Farlight 84, same thing. Combat Master, same thing. Bloodstrike, same thing. Like, these games are not just doing only Android and iOS anymore. They're expanding to the PC market too, and some of them in some cases have more success over there than they do on mobile, you know? So it would just be like a natural thing if they want to keep up with the times and they want to continue to have COD Mobile to be this game that continues to be developed, continues to be updated and stuff like that, especially since we're so close to the Warzone mobile release. Like, you know, this would make it so that like it would just be a definitive like COD Mobile is not going anywhere. Like it's still going to be, supported even with Warzone Mobile out, even with whatever the new Call of Duty game is going to come out, this year in November or whatever. Like it would be a really really good thing overall in my opinion. And yeah, that's pretty much what I got on that.
Oh yeah. Thank you, Jab.
I think so because I'm seeing this right here. Someone said maybe 3 or 4 months, whatever. I have no idea if it's true or not, but I think I saw someone mention too, like just kind of like what you said, like it looks ready to go, and it could possibly be releasing like sometime in the next few months and stuff like that. Obviously Warzone Mobile. I think right now Warzone Mobile has the estimated release date in the App Store as what is it? April 30th, I think. So that's not too far away, that's like a couple months or something like that. So maybe after that, like maybe, a month or two after that in the summer, like they just, they just decide to drop it on PC or whatever. And it wouldn't affect, the Call of Duty game that's going to come out inevitably in November or whatever, because, it would come out months before that. And yeah, it just makes everything about it just makes a lot of sense. So yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, but moving on from that, guys, we also have another interesting topic. And speaking of Call of Duty, speaking of Warzone Mobile, we actually just got an update yesterday to Warzone Mobile, and it looks like they're slowly implementing some of the newer features and newer sort of mechanics from MW3 into Warzone Mobile, which is something that before they were kind of like iffy about. Like they were kind of like, if we do that, or if we end up doing that or whatever. But now it looks like they are actually going to bring things like the movement and stuff like that. I don't think they've done it 100%, but I do think that they've slowly sort of started to tune it and stuff. But the update, just like most Warzone Mobile news, an update isn't all positive. As you can see here, it says Warzone Mobile is amazing as a quote. And then this guy says an iPad user, like shut up. You don't even represent 5% of the mobile gaming community. The 95% are suffering. So keep your opinions to yourself. And this actually got a lot of popular content creators talking about it in the comments section.
I don't mean to scare
Because
you, Jab.
FBI, open up!
oh my god,
You're can you share a window, please?
yeah. I literally just sorry about that.
No, you good, bro.
But yeah, here was the tweet that like I just mentioned. Basically, a lot of these I guess content creators saying that the new update's amazing and stuff as they usually do. Um, Basically, I guess people like this basically saying that it doesn't represent the majority of people who can't even play the game even still. Um, and it just kind of just sparked a usual debate as to like whether or not this game is optimized yet, or things like that. This was a tweet that I actually thought was kind of interesting. Ducky the Gamer saying, I played the game on a $600 phone and it ran like a champ. You can't expect Warzone Mobile to run at 60 FPS on an iPhone 8 from 7 years ago. To me, this is interesting for a couple of reasons. Number one, I feel like he's talking about a $600 phone. Like if it's like a budget phone, um, that's a lot of money. Like to spend on anything. Like $600 is a lot of money.
Right.
And I feel like some of these guys, like they I don't know if it's that they're just, I know they're in like a completely different tax bracket than I am. So maybe this is like cheap to them, but I feel like for the average person, like this is a significant amount of money to dedicate to a phone. Even though obviously phones do so many things, like it's a lot of money still. And so to kind of be like, bro, like even $600 phones can run Warzone Mobile at 60 FPS, like why are you complaining? Like the average person cannot afford this, right now. Like I'm pretty sure we both live in like LA. Like I live in the United States. I do work, and like I have like a side hustle. I do YouTube and things like that. This is still a significant amount of money for me to even consider to, to get a new device or whatever and stuff. But I feel like some of these big content creators kind of don't understand that. I'm pretty sure there's some regions where like even less than this is the the minimum wage for an entire month. So to kind of be like, yeah, bro, like these budget $500 devices are running Warzone Mobile like nothing, like
Is a
it's kind of weird.
he mentions that he's using a OnePlus 12R. Is that like this year's model or something?
I'm pretty sure it's either this year or like last year's model. I think someone was mentioning the specs in the comments, and they're like, bro, like why are you trying to make it seem like this is like a cheap phone or whatever when it has like some of the latest specs. Yeah, Snapdragon 8 Gen 2, so a 1 year old processor, like top of the line, 8 to 16 gigabytes of RAM, which is probably way more than most people have. It was released 2 days ago on February.
It's a brand new device, homeboy.
It's a
Damn.
brand new device. I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure he's sponsored by OnePlus too. I'm not saying that that's why he's throwing it in there, but I'm pretty sure he is sponsored by them. I think I've seen a video of his that he was sponsored by. Oh yeah, he is being sponsored by OnePlus in the video that he made. Um, yeah, I mean, look, don't get me wrong. These are good specs for what is it, $500 retail, I guess.
Right.
That's good specs. Don't get me wrong, but it's not about the specs. It's to do with the actual like price. Like that's unaffordable for I would like this dude said originally. For like 95% of people, that's probably unaffordable. Like if you told me right now, like if I could not run Warzone Mobile right now, and then you told me like I'm gonna need to drop 500 to get this, like I couldn't just do that, you know. Like I would have to like really consider that and stuff. Um, but yeah, I feel like I don't know. It's Warzone Mobile. Part of me is excited for it, but then at the same time, part of me is kind of like I don't know, man. Like you know the optimization stuff. It has gotten better, of course, but at the same time, like has it gotten better for the low end devices? Has it gotten better for the mid range devices? Because I've only personally played it on some of the higher end devices and stuff like that, so I can't actually speak from experience on that. But it's just it's a weird thing, man. It's a game that has so much hype around it, but at the same time, I feel like has so much controversy and so much like issues, I guess you could say. Um, and I feel like the community right now is kind of divided on this.
Yeah, every time I see posts about Warzone Mobile, especially after updates, it's always, like I mean, it feels like it's divided down the middle. It could just be the amount of posts that I'm seeing, but like it'll be like one half of the community is like garbage, worst update. You guys just ruined the game. It used to run well, now it doesn't. Look at these graphics. What are these PS1 graphics? And then on the other side, I'll see updates or posts like, oh, best update ever. The game looks great. Never looked better. It runs perfect on my whatever device, and it always feels very divided. And optimization clearly for mobile devices isn't easy. But even just watching like from like the combat master perspective, because I have covered so much combat master videos and stuff, like optimization, man, like it'll kill your player base, dude. Like if there were people that were playing combat master from like day one on devices that are now like 5 years old now or whatever, 6 years old, and the game ran perfectly fine. But then with every update, they minimized their player base because they were like essentially removing the lower end to make room for like the mid end and high end and now PC. And Warzone Mobile seems like it's kind of doing the same thing where every update, they're minimizing their player base. And supposedly, the specs for or the requirements for the game, are going to be, granted probably a little bit more strict than Combat Master. But I mean, I'm seeing the same trend where it's like people just getting booted out of the game constantly, just people having a bad experience. And when this game finally launches, I really don't know what size of player base it's going to be. Huge because it's Call of Duty, but it's
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. It's also got to future proof itself. Like we got to understand that too. Like this game isn't to be, when it launches, it has to be able to survive for like the next 5 years, I would say 4 years at least. So it kind of does
Yeah.
have to future proof itself. But I mean, and you can't, like Dougie can't shit on people because they can't like upgrade, $600, $700 so you can play the next game. Like, come on, bro. We can't upgrade every year. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
with consoles, we upgrade every 5 years or so, right? You go from a PS4, then the next cycle is a PS5. That's, a 5, 6, 7 year gap with like Nintendo Switch. And this dude's like, bro, just buy a $600 phone. Like, chill out, bro. Chill.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like when you get to this point where you have like device sponsorships and you play on, you know, things like an iPad, I feel like your idea of what the average person can afford and what the average like, you know, dollar means to a person, like I feel like that kind of gets a little jaded. And that's why I think I see sometimes some of these bigger CCs being like, "Bro, what do you mean you expect to run Warzone Mobile on your 4-year-old phone? Like just buy the new $500 thing. Like it's no big deal." But it's like, you know, the average person can't really afford that, and then at the same time, like the amount of people that are going to buy a brand new mobile device specifically for mobile gaming, in mind, I imagine that number is really really small. um and yeah, I'm definitely guilty of the whole like, you know, saying like Warzone Mobile's great now and stuff like that. But I also do try to mention, because I've played it before on like the Red Magic 8 Pro, for example. But I've tried to mention like, you know, I have an outlier device. Like I have one of the better devices and stuff, and I know this is not going to be everyone's experience and things like that. But to kind of like try to make it seem like, you know, $600 phones that literally released, you know, two days ago, um are like complete budget devices, and like anyone can afford it and stuff like that. Like that's kind of crazy. It's one of the reasons why I actually made this video 3 weeks ago where I talked about the best budget devices for Warzone Mobile. And I basically just culminated a list. I can't even remember how many phones I put on the list, but I basically just made this video to sort of showcase
What's
like,
up, guys? Jaboozle
oops.
here, back with a brand new Warzone mobile video.
Oh my computer is like slowing down. Um, but yeah, I made this video specifically to give people ideas of like what can I sort of go for if they were looking for another device, you know, but something that isn't $600 or whatever. Um, and I basically just made up a list of a bunch of devices that were relatively cheap and used, because you know obviously that brings the price down quite a bit and stuff. It is kind of difficult making these type of videos though, because you know everyone's currency is different, the prices for things are different in everyone's countries and stuff like that. But you know what I consider to be budget devices are 100, like this one says oh, sorry about that. Like this one says $168 used. You know, that to me sounds like something that's a little bit more affordable versus like $600. Same thing with something like this, the iPhone 10s, $128 used and stuff like that. You know, that to me is kind of like the budget stuff, and that's kind of why I wanted to make this video, to give people an actual like, you know, budgets sort of sort of option or options to potentially get so that they can play Warzone Mobile and stuff like that. Um, because I just see other people, like other big CCs all the time, mention things like this, like $600 phones, no problem. $450 phones, like no problem, go get it. And it's like, dude, like, you know, people can't afford stuff like that. So that's kind of the you know reason why I made a video like this. But yeah, it's weird, dude. Like you said, you know, it's like some games they can be great games, don't get me wrong, but like some games can kind of ruin it a little bit because they don't keep that lower end device user in mind, or mid-range device user in mind and stuff like that. Combat Master is an excellent example. It literally started off and got popular because it was like a low end version of Modern Warfare 2019 kind of. And as the years have gone on, or year has gone on, as the months have gone on, and new updates, I feel like the community has shrunk and shrunk and shrunk because the game just has gotten more and more and more demanding. The PC version released, and it feels like you need a PC, or you need like a phone that costs as much as a PC to actually run the game and stuff like that. So it's just it's a weird thing. Like you said too, it's Call of Duty. It's going to be popular, of course, just because it has that name on it. But I don't know. I don't know how popular it's going to be if this trend kind of continues, where like at minimum you need, you know, hundreds of dollars worth of mobile devices to be able to run it. Um, but I guess that's why Call of Duty Mobile is still a good option, right? Like it still runs pretty well on lower end devices.
Dude, yeah, it's like COD Mobile is kind of like PUBG Mobile, where like it just keeps running on whatever device. It just it just keeps
Mhm.
on trucking, baby.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, hopefully they can get this optimization kind of settled down a little bit, and hopefully, you know, more people can play it, because I know a lot of people are looking forward to this game. myself included. But at the same time, it's kind of hard to want to commit yourself to make content to it when like a majority of your audience, they can't even play the game. I think someone mentioned that in here, like yeah, you do have a point, and it's something CC should recognize, especially those who play with viewers. Mobile games that are very well optimized allows for a larger viewer base to be able to play with the streamer. It's always a moment of disappointment for a viewer when they come in like, "Oh, can I try this game? Sorry, my phone isn't good enough." So that's kind of something to consider too. Like one of the big things about mobile games is the fact that like anyone can play it, like it's pretty much accessible to anyone. But if you start having these mobile games where it's only locked into like the 5 percentile or 1 percentile or whatever, like it kind of defeats the purpose of what I feel mobile gaming is supposed to be like. So I don't know. I don't know how this game is gonna play out. We're only like what 2 months away from its supposed release.
Yeah.
It's gonna be really interesting.
Yeah, interesting indeed. Hopefully I'll have a working phone by then.
Yeah, dude. That,
I'm
I actually wanted to ask you
I'm,
about that. Do
I'm
you
gonna
have any
have to watch your
plans to?
video. I gotta watch that Jaboozle video of the top 10 affordable devices that you can get right now. We should link it. I'll link it.
Yeah, dude. I mean, that was really the whole point of it, was because I know some people are like, bro, I can't really afford these, $1,000 phones and stuff like that. I want to play Warzone Mobile, and that's kind of just to be like, okay, here's a few options that will, only cost you like a couple $100. Or I kind of tried to keep it. I had like a couple price budgets in mind, like 1 to 200, and then 2 to 300, and I think the most expensive one I featured was like 3 to 400, and that was like towards the end of the video, where it was like, if this is your budget, this is what I would recommend. But most of it was centered around that like 1 to 250 mark. Um, but yeah, it's gonna be interesting. But by the way, you mentioned your phone, the USB-C port,
Yeah.
not really working that much. Do you what are your plans with that? Are you gonna get it fixed, or are you gonna just upgrade to a new
Yeah,
device? Or
yeah, my original idea was to get it fixed, but just because of like my work schedule and then like trying to like squeeze YouTube into everything, I just haven't had the chance to like actually take it to like a repair shop. I watched a video on like how to fix this yourself, and I saw the video one time and I was like, "Oh, I could do that." And then I just never did anything about it. So I'm just here. It's been like 2 months now of my phone with no working Type C port. Yeah, I don't know. I should get it fixed. It's probably not going to be too expensive to fix it, but at the same time, I don't want to spend money fixing it if I'm just going to end up buying a new device or whatever. I don't know. I just think
yeah.
having the like the PC and then being able to play like all my mobile games on PC. Like you mentioned earlier, like Bloodstrike, I can play that on PC. COD Mobile, I can play it on PC. You know, I can play a bunch of games on here. Modern Warfare 3, Warzone. So I like just because I have that other option, I haven't really been sweating getting my phone fixed or replaced. But I really should figure out what the hell I'm gonna do.
Yeah, dude. I mean, you've kind of adapted pretty well though, because you like you said, it's been a while since your phone has been out of commission. You can't really, make videos on it, but you're still here live streaming. You're still here making videos and stuff, because a lot of the games that you already covered have PC versions, thankfully. Um, that was one of the reasons I think I mentioned it in the beginning of the show, like I hadn't uploaded in the last week or whatever. That was one of the reasons why I hadn't uploaded, because I actually tweeted out. I was kind of bored of the Red Magic 8 Pro.
I saw
Um,
that.
yeah, it was. Yeah, I can screen share one more
I
time.
was actually really surprised when you tweeted that out. I was like, oh, I was like, damn. I was like, okay.
Yeah, so I just tweeted out like, after 4-ish months exclusively on Android, Red Magic 8. I'm ready to go back to iOS. Was definitely an enjoyable experience, but I just miss many aspects of iPhone. And then you actually asked me like, which aspects were you missing? And I mentioned a few. Having good cameras for like video calls and stuff. I've been video calling with like friends recently and stuff, and honestly, it was kind of embarrassing to video call on the Red Magic 8, because the selfie camera is so bad for video calls and stuff. Um, Things like iMessage, being able to play those little games in iMessage with Game Pigeon and stuff like that. The displays, like one thing that really bothered me about the Red Magic was the lack of HDR. Um, my phone from my Samsung from like 2017 had HDR, so it kind of felt weird that like this supposed like latest and greatest mobile gaming device didn't support such a such an old feature. But just like things like that, Apple Pay and stuff was part of the reason why I wanted to switch back. And I actually did switch back. I actually sold my Red Magic, and I timed it in a way so that when I shipped out my Red Magic, I had already ordered an iPhone. So I would have only gone like a day without a phone. I would have sent it out, and then the next day I would have gotten my new iPhone basically. But unfortunately, there was some issues with that, and I ended up
Oh.
going pretty much like 8 days without a phone. I was using I was using my girlfriend's old iPhone 8, which I can't like. I make all my content on my phone, like normally and stuff. I don't have like a traditional computer or anything like that. So
You know, an
so I
iPhone
make all of
8
it on my
cannot
phone.
run Warzone mobile, right?
No, it can't. It actually it
According to
can't.
Ducky.
Ducky made sure he called it out just for me in there. But yeah, because of that, I was pretty limited. I tried to make a video, but like the app crashed one time. I lost some progress on the edit and stuff like that. I didn't even know CapCut was on Windows, and so I just downloaded it and started making videos again on my Steam Deck. But I didn't know that in the beginning of, well, pretty much the whole week, and so I that was one of the reasons why I hadn't uploaded and stuff. But yeah, I finally got it's not new, but I finally got a new iPhone and stuff, and so now I can finally get back into the swing of things and things like that. But yeah, the way you handled it though, the way you handled it without a phone to make content on has been really really cool, dude. Because you basically didn't miss a beat. You just kept streaming. You just kept making videos. Like you just made it work. And here I was like being like, how do I even make this like this YouTube short or whatever on this old iPhone? but um, but yeah, that's kind of crazy. One of the reasons why I got rid of the Red Magic 2, honestly, it's kind of just my lack of excitement for mobile in general. That's another reason why I haven't really been uploading that much either. I feel like when you look at some of these other platforms, PC, there's a lot of news right now about like the Nintendo, so the supposed next console being revealed next month, and the direct that's supposed to be coming out next week and things like that. Like I feel like they have like such, positive things and like these new games constantly and really good games and stuff like that. And then we have mobile, and it feels like everything is kind of just a waiting game to,
Right.
countless soft launches and betas and stuff. I don't know if you saw this, but it could possibly be that Rainbow Six might be coming out. Rainbow Six Mobile might be coming out to like 2025.
Holy, what the hell?
Yeah, so I guess they had like a conference call or something like Ubisoft, and they talked about some of their upcoming projects. Let's see, where is it? Where is it? Yeah, here it is. Okay, so the investors website this morning, according to the report, the company is looking forward to several titles in the future. The Division Resurgence, Rainbow Six Mobile were mentioned by name, as were Assassin's Creed Red and Star Wars Outlaws. These games were given basically a timeline of 2024 to 2025. So at the very least, this confirms that Rainbow Six and the Division Resurgence are coming later this year, like potentially at the earliest.
Right.
Um, After April to March, because I guess that, or after April, sorry, because that's when their next like fiscal year begins or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but there's a possibility that it might be sometime in March 2025,
Yeesh.
and
I was almost afraid
which
you were
is
gonna say it got canceled.
yeah, it's crazy too because remember when that game was announced like a year ago, and they were like, we've been in development for 3 years, and now here we are another year after, and it's still in like soft launch phase with only like a couple of regions.
Yeah.
um I don't know. I feel like 4 years for a mobile game is kind of a lot. Like we see NetEase churn out games like every 3 or 4 months or something like that. So I don't know what's going on. I played it yesterday actually too, and it's cool. Don't get me wrong, but I don't know. It doesn't really feel like a game that's been in development for 4 years. Um, And so it's things like that that kind of have me not that excited about mobile, you know, just like the uncertainty of it, games getting sort of canceled left and right, and countless soft launches and betas and stuff like that. And yeah, I know
Yeah.
you mentioned something like that too, right?
Yeah, I feel the same way. You know, the same reasons that you just explained, and then it just constantly feels like we're waiting for the mobile versions of games that we can already play or games that have been out for a really long time. You know, if I want to play
Yeah,
Warzone, I can play Warzone. It's a free to play game. You know, I don't have to wait for Warzone mobile. You know, if I want to play Rainbow Six Siege, I can play Siege. I think I think it's free on. I don't know if it's necessarily free, but it's pretty cheap. You know, I don't have to wait for Rainbow Six Mobile. You know, having one of the reasons why I played mobile games from the jump was just the accessibility of it. You know, there was everybody has a mobile device, and all the games that were coming out were ready to play on my mobile, whether that was PUBG, you know, COD Mobile. You know, all these games were just easily accessible, and they were like, oh, you know, they were better than I thought they were going to be. So basically became like my main games. But now we're just like waiting for these games to come out, and it's like, dude, like if they get announced, they go on alpha for like 4 years. It feels like they don't launch new territories. You know, the optimizations on these games on mobile, you know, it's iffy, and it's like, damn, like it's just like it's like a waiting game. You know, I've been playing the
yeah,
same mobile games because those same mobile games are the only ones that actually like work. Called mobile works, you know.
yeah, dude. It feels like like it feels like we haven't gotten a really really good, really popular new like shooter on mobile since COD Mobile. And that was 4 years ago, or going on 5 years now, because it released back in 2019. Um, you know, Apex shut down, Battlefield Mobile canceled in the middle of beta. You know, New State Mobile flopped at launch, never recovered. You know, like even some of these not under, sorry, indie games, essentially like Bloodstrike or like Combat Master, you know, they also kind of we also kind of experience the same thing, the whole waiting and waiting and waiting for updates and soft launches and things like that. Um, and it just kind of, I don't know, there's just this like uncertainty with mobile that kind of leaves everything in limbo essentially. And then like you just said it like perfectly right now, like it also feels like we're just waiting for games to come to Android and iOS that have been available on other platforms for literally years. um Valorant Mobile is one that I was really looking forward to on Android and iOS, you know, for the last year or so. But then I started like thinking like, dude, I could have been playing Valorant on PC. Like I don't have the best PC or anything like that, but I have something that can run Valorant. I could have been playing that if I wanted to make content on it. I could have been doing that, but you know, we're just waiting for these things to come to Android and iOS, and it's like, okay, by the time it does come out, it would have already been like a thing for, you know, I don't even know how long Valorant's been out, but 3 4 years, something like that.
Yeah.
Same thing with Rainbow Six. I'm pretty sure Rainbow Six Siege has been out for like 7 or 8 years or something like that. So the fact that we're barely getting it now on Android and iOS all of these years later, and in some regards, it's like an inferior version. You know, it's kind of like, well, was that wait even worth it? So
Yeah.
it's, I don't know. Sometimes I just look at other platforms and what they got going on, and I'm just like, damn, it's like they don't really have that level of uncertainty, and they don't really have that like huge waiting period and stuff like that. We constantly see new games come out and stuff. PalWorld, for example, just kind of comes out of nowhere, you
Yeah.
know, crushes everything around it, and it's like cheap too. It's like $30 or something like that, and um, you
Freaking
know.
love Pal World.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you about that actually. I know you wanted to talk about it.
Ooh-wee.
What do
Oh
you
boy. Oh boy, do I want to talk about Pal World.
what do you think about it, dude? As
I
someone
love
who
it.
hasn't bought it, I have not bought it yet. I just want to make it clear, and for anyone who knows me knows that I'm a very big Pokemon fan. Um, so, but I'm not like one of those Pokemon fans that's like super protective over it, and it's like, you know, screw Power World, like they ripped off Pokemon. Like I don't care. Um, but yeah, it looks interesting to me, and I wanted to get someone's firsthand experience of it.
Yeah, so it was one of the topics that I wanted to talk about today. Pal World has taken the world by storm. Sheesh. And PalWorld has, been celebrating all of their achievements and accomplishments. They recently tweeted out that they had over 19 million players. That's over
Damn.
12 million on Steam and over 7 million on Xbox. There are no other platforms that can currently run the game or that it's available on. There were some leaks about potentially like a mobile version, but not exactly the way people were thinking that it's, because I guess there's some leaks of like of an iOS version that you can like, I guess, sign up for, but it's not available, and that one might be fake. But I remember you, Jab, you covered you made a video covering a mobile version of Pal World, but they teamed up with like an actual well-known mobile dev. So I guess there's at least like some kind of groundwork being set there. But
Yeah.
I mean, going back to Pal World and its huge numbers, I guess it's currently like the top game on Steam. It has like some of the highest like active players like ever. I think beating out Counter Strike, but not necessarily beating PUBG. So it's like up there. And this game is only $30. The gameplay that you get with this game is insane. It's like a mashup of like Ark Survival, The Legend of Zelda, Tears of the Kingdom, and Pokemon. And it's a crazy mashup, but it plays so well. It's so fun. It is buggy and glitchy. Like it's not a perfect game, but it's technically like an early access. But there's also been a lot of controversies around it because it does share a lot of similarities with a lot of like Nintendo IP. And Nintendo has actually made a statement on it. They have actually commented, and there's been some some follow up here. According to Dexerto, they said we will take appropriate action against those that infringe our intellectual property rights. That was from President of Nintendo Shuntaro Furukawa when questioned about PalWorld. There are I from playing the game myself, there are some similarities that I've seen, from like audio cues to certain like like design choices that the game has, especially with like UI and stuff. It does look very Legend of Zelda like. Everyone was always saying, "Oh, Pokemon, Pokemon, Pokemon," but like when I played it, I've seen a lot of Zelda mechanics in it, like the way that the character climbs and your little like stamina meter, and I'm like, bro, like I know Nintendo didn't invent these ideas, but like it's very very Zelda like. The game is a blast. I mean, clearly with those kind of numbers, people are having a really good time with this game. But I don't know what's going to happen. Some people are saying that there isn't enough here for Nintendo to really take down PalWorld. But I mean, from the few hours that I've had, I would say there isn't. There isn't enough here for Nintendo to really take it down. But I mean, I don't know. It's definitely a fine line. It's a really fine line. Have you haven't had the chance to play this, right, Jab? Is there any reason why you haven't?
Um, Honestly, it's just because I like I mentioned earlier, I don't have like a normal PC. So the only PC that I really have is a Steam Deck, and I've seen some videos on how the Steam Deck handles PalWorld, and for the most part, it looks playable, like at 30 FPS. But I have noticed that people have like made their own like custom performance mods for it and stuff because it can drop like well below that. So I've just been waiting for like either some type of optimization or either just me like just buying like a laptop or something, which is something that I've been thinking about doing. So that's really the only reason, is just because I don't want to buy it and then try to play it at like 20 FPS on my Steam Deck or anything like that. But yeah, it looks really really interesting. Like you said, I know the obvious comparison immediately is always Pokemon because of the pals, I think they call them. But yeah, I've watched some gameplay, some streams too, and I definitely noticed like similarities to other Nintendo IP, like you mentioned, The Legend of Zelda, Breath of the Wild, and Tears of the Kingdom. Some of the mechanics and like UI elements kind of remind me of Ark too, the dinosaur survival game and stuff. So yeah, I don't know. I think if Nintendo did have a case here, I think the game would have been shut down already.
Yeah.
Nintendo is pretty Yeah, they're pretty litigious. Like they will, they've sued like emulators of their consoles. They've taken down like people, distributing like ROMs of their games and stuff like that. So if this game here actually was infringing on their rights, like if they were actually using like Nintendo assets or modifying like Nintendo code or something like that, Nintendo would 100% have shut down this game. The fact that they haven't, to me, it doesn't make it seem like, oh, they're building a case or anything like that. Like, no, I think they're just like, yeah, they've got things that look similar to us, but it's not enough that we can actually take them down or whatever. um it is what it is. PalWorld, obviously huge success, but at the end of the day, I don't think it's gonna be really that big of a threat to Nintendo, because Pokemon, it is the biggest media franchise in the world. Not like the biggest video game franchise or anything like that. Like, it's the biggest media franchise in the world. They've got the trading cards, they've got the merch, they've got the anime, they've got the games, they've like they're in a position where even with the success that PalWorld has had, like, Nintendo's not going to go broke tomorrow because of it. So I don't think it's going to actually get taken down or anything like that, unless it does get proven that, like, oh, they've actually taken some assets or something like that. For me, as a Pokemon fan, I think it's good that PalWorld exists. A lot of the other monster catching games never really caught on, and I feel like they've never really gotten this level of success. Um, and I think it's good that one of them finally did, because if anything, it's gonna push Nintendo and push the Pokemon brand to sort of make better Pokemon games, because now they have like genuine competition. Um, and yeah, so I kind of just look at it like that, and I kind of just think, like, if Power World exists as a good alternative, I'll play that. It'll be cool, and if it makes Pokemon games better, that's good for me. Um,
Yeah, that's one of the things that a lot of people said about Palworld is like, even if it is taking a lot of inspiration from Nintendo IP, it's actually a really good game, and it puts together a formula that feels fresh. And some people were even calling Nintendo, like, or I guess the Pokemon. Well, what's the developer for Pokemon? It's
Game Freak.
Game Freak, yes. They were calling Game Freak one of the laziest developers of all time because they haven't had to really like innovate or update their like game engine and like really push Nintendo to the next like level. Whereas like Pal World is, it does have this very cartoon aesthetic, but there are some like pretty adult themes in here, and the game is very self-aware. It knows what it's doing. The people literally have guns and you
Yeah.
can torture your pals, you can enslave them, make them work, something that Nintendo would never do. But like
Yeah.
having your pals like work with you side by side as you're taking down enemies and stuff like that, that's stuff that I've like dreamed about since I was a kid, and Nintendo never did that. At least I never got to play a game like that, not like this, where you're literally like side by side fighting with your pals. um
Yeah.
for anyone that has had a chance to play the game, I think it grows on you very quickly. Even Pickled Gamer, I know you know who Pickled Gamer is. He's like a big
Yeah. Yeah.
FPS guy. He's got these big muscles, he's got the big old Spartan beard and everything. He's all Giga Chad out, and every time that we talk, he's like, "All right, I'm gonna go play Pal World." he'll like stream Warzone, Modern Warfare, Combat Master, and he's like, "All right, I'm gonna go play some Pal World." Like it really does have like this addictive gameplay, and it's just a lot of fun. And
Yeah.
I hope it motivates Nintendo to to step their game up, man. Like I would like to see this in
That
the Pokemon universe.
That's one thing, though, that I've noticed in this whole debate, though, is that I think a lot of people assume that Nintendo makes Pokemon games, but I think that's a very common misconception, because Nintendo doesn't actually make Pokemon games. They don't even own the Pokemon brand. The Pokemon brand itself is owned by three different companies. It's owned by Game Freak, obviously the developers. It's owned partially by Nintendo, and then it's owned partially by, I believe, it's a company called Creatures. And so them three, they all manage this Pokemon. And apparently, like I guess Game Freak though, when it comes to the games, like they're the ones that dictate things. Like they're the ones that dictate when these games release or when they get made. They're the actual developers themselves of the games and stuff like that. Apparently the director is like really really old school, and he doesn't really believe in like these big development teams. So they only have like I think a couple hundred employees, and that's one of the reasons why people theorize that so many Pokemon games like lack innovation, and you know they have like a yearly release schedule as well, similar to like Call of Duty, for example. So if it's not a mainline game they're releasing this year, it's usually like a spin-off game or a remaster of an old one and stuff like that. Um, and that's all Game Freak, you know, like when you look at actual Nintendo titles, when you look at Zelda, when you look at Metroid, the remaster they just did, when you look at Mario, when you look at Smash and stuff like that, like they're killing it. Like they've released some really really incredible games in the last couple of years. Xenoblade as well. Really, it's the only Nintendo property that has been kind of lackluster is Pokemon, and it's because of that. I think it's because of Game Freak and the way they do things. And so yeah, I really hope that PalWorld pushes Game Freak to like actually, you know, push the Pokemon brand and make it as good as it can be and stuff, instead of relying on, you know, nostalgia, and instead of relying on just like these constant like almost even less than yearly releases. You know, we in this last couple of years we had like Pokemon Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl, and then a couple months after we had Pokemon Legends Arceus, and then a couple months after we had Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, and it's like this is not enough time to develop these games and make them as good as they can be. Um, so yeah, I really do hope that Power World really pushes Game Freak, pushes Nintendo and creatures to actually make Pokemon a better game. I apparently they're going to be announcing some stuff later on this month, because it's going to be Pokemon Day on the 27th, I believe. So we'll
Ooh.
see what they got in store. Yeah, I've seen some of the leaks. I've seen some people saying it might be remakes of the Generation 2 games, Gold and Silver version. I've also seen leaks of people saying it might be remakes of Pokemon Black and White from the DS. So we'll see.
Ooh.
Yeah, we'll see what they end up doing. All we do know though is that the next mainline game, the Generation 10 game, it's not coming out for like another 2 years at least. So you know, we'll see how much progress they actually make in the next couple of years with the spin-offs and the remasters, and then eventually with that new mainline game. But yeah, I'm gonna definitely have to pick up Power World though. Maybe when I get like a laptop though, because I don't know. I'm looking at some of these like these scenes that you're playing, like all the effects and everything like that, and I'm like, I don't know if my little Steam Deck here can handle it.
Well, if you can get it, I think you'll. Oh my God, he just launched that guy into space.
Yeah. It's stuff like that that makes the game look so
Oh
much fun.
man, crazy, crazy game. Yeah, I definitely got to get back into it. I haven't played it since I bought it. But definitely I keep
Yeah.
thinking about it. I'm like, damn, my pals, they need me.
But yeah, I think that's pretty much all the topics I had to talk about today, bro. I know we're trying to keep it a little bit shorter than usual, and that's pretty much all I had to say. Did you have anything you wanted to end the show on with?
um maybe one last topic, one
Yeah,
last one.
yeah, for sure.
We could touch on it briefly. I'm sure you've seen it, Jab. The freaking Apple Vision Pro has released. It's available now for a measly $4,000. It could be yours.
Chump change,
Chump
apparently.
change to go alongside your $600 mobile device. You can get yourself
That
the
that
Apple
tweet
Vision
right
Pro.
there,
This is
old
Jab.
head T-Pain.
Oh yeah, this yeah.
With the little Dragon Ball Z thing on the side of it. You said wasn't nobody gonna wear them shit, and y'all canceled that. And now they gone, and now look what we left with. And then now it's too late. Now we can't go back. It's over. Y'all not leaving me behind in this dumbass world. I want to see everything through this motherfucker now, and it's going down. I appreciate y'all trying, but futile is what I call that shit.
So
Why they gotta
So
why they gotta do him like that though, dude? Look at the tweet. It's like old head T-Pain
wait,
rants about.
old head T-Pain ranting about Apple Vision Pro. That's funny. So he's actually he's pretty T-Pain sounds pretty optimistic about the Apple Vision Pro. He said he likes it. He likes wearing it. He does look kind of goofy. Looks like you're wearing like ski goggles or like a
Yeah.
a jet fighter helmet. I've seen some interesting applications. There was one guy, I think it's this clip here. So this guy's actually, because now that the Apple Vision Pro is available, people are trying to find which clever ways to utilize it. How does this benefit people in their day-to-day lives? Like, otherwise, why get it? Besides it being like cool tech. But this guy here, this actually resonates with me because I have worked on my cars since I was like a teen. Since I had like my first car, and it was a hand-me-down, it was always breaking down, and I always had to Google things or like hold a book or something to try to fix my car. This guy's actually having multiple tabs open on his Vision Pro. He's watching a YouTube video on how to fix what he's fixing, while also keeping this diagram for the relay for the fuses and stuff. And I think this other one is, I don't know what he's got on that other one, Twitter or something. But like being able to free up your hands while you're watching the tutorial, and you have your relay, like, notes and stuff here, pretty clever. And I wish I would have had this like a few years ago. This would have freed up it would have been able to free up my hands, look at everything, on the fly. And very clever. I know it's not going to be for everybody. I don't think everybody will benefit from this kind of tech, but seeing clips like this, I'm like, oh, it kind of makes sense. Besides, some people are saying that you can stream with it, you can do digital art and design, and it's a very expensive piece of tech.
Got
like
music
this seems
set up
overboard.
here.
So for me, this is overboard.
Yeah.
Like Homeboy has like this.
Jesus.
Yeah, this is like extreme.
Notes right here for some groceries.
He literally has a grocery list. But it's crazy how it adapts to him depending on the room. Like it
Yeah, it's like it remembers.
yeah, so there's somebody on their old school setup. That's so 2003.
Seriously.
Where we left it.
But
It has one screen.
And that's it.
yeah, and like I mean, that's amazing tech. And I don't know, Jeb, what do you think? Is this the future, or is it just like a novelty kind of piece of tech? What do you think, man?
It's very, very interesting. Obviously, to me, it's not $4,000 interesting. Um, but it's cool to see other people using it, and it's cool to see some of the applications of it. I've seen a couple of videos, including from mobile content creator Winsanity, and you're showcasing it a little bit, and like some of the apps and like what it can do and stuff. The ability to just literally like make it so that you have a full panoramic view of like Japan or like Mount Everest or things like that. Like that's really cool, and it kind of puts you in a spot where obviously you're not actually there. Being able to put all those screens up like that, like have like your YouTube video playing and your notes app open and you're writing stuff down, like that's all really, really cool stuff. And I do think that maybe not
Music set up here.
this particular headset might not be the future, but I do think this type of like technology in the application, it probably is going to be the future. Like just having these digital screens and them kind of being malleable, and you can move them around and you can resize them and stuff like that without actually having to have the screens and stuff. I think that's for sure going to be something that we see more and more of in the next few years. Kind of reminds me of like having a projector, but you don't actually have to have 3 or 4 different projectors to just be displaying something out on there. You could just have a headset and it does everything for you. What's going to be interesting to see though is how they can actually get this down where like the average consumer can afford to buy it, because right now I feel like it's just like a rich person toy.
Right.
Like $3,500, that's more than my rent. Like it's not, it's something that I literally would not be able to get even if I really, really, really wanted to.
I mean, look at this guy's place. He has such a nice place. This definitely looks like an Apple house.
Yeah, this is like somewhere in New York. It seems like it's
This is where Homeboy's
It's
rent
crazy.
is like $17,000 a month.
yeah, seriously. But yeah, I do think the maybe not the actual headset itself, like the Apple headset or anything like that. You know, I don't think maybe that might not be the future, but
Right.
maybe
It looks
well,
very
you know,
big and
the
bulky.
yeah, like, but maybe the product that this inspires will be the future. Like maybe they slim it down and now it's not a headset anymore. Now it's glasses or something like that, you know, or things like that. It'll probably be many years until we see the technology where you can fit that into just like normal glasses or something that's not this huge, you know, headset that requires like a battery pack to be plugged in at all times and things like that. Um, but the actual application itself, really cool. Being able to like imagine like you're cooking and you have your little recipe like right there, and you have a video telling you like use this exact amount and you know do this and stuff like that. Like that the application and stuff is cool. Seeing the guy fix his car and having all that is really cool. I don't know. I think it's probably like many years away from this being like actually affordable for you know the normal guy and stuff.
Yeah. I haven't seen anybody play video games on this yet. Does it run? Can it run video games? Can it display video
Uh,
games essentially?
I think it can display video games. I know Winsanity has made a few videos on that. I think he had it displaying like PUBG Mobile. I think he had maybe PalWorld as well, like displaying out and stuff. Um, but I don't know. I don't think it actually runs like the game itself in the headset because there's a lack of you know controls and stuff there. So I don't know how that would work.
Oh yeah, I didn't
But
think about that part. You're right, bro. Damn, I'm
yeah,
over here in the
I mean
future
it would.
future.
Dude, it would be cool though. Imagine you like you can pair your like PS5 controller to the headset and now you can just play like games, you know, directly from it. They would probably have to how to make a pizza lunchable.
That's hella funny.
That's another cool application right there too because that's something that I could see a lot of people using. It's actually the tweet under that like not having to fight for the TV anymore. Like if you only have one TV and like maybe your significant other wants to watch something and you want to watch something else, like oh now you don't have to you know watch it on your small phone. Now you can put on the headset and you've got an equally big screen and you're watching it, but it doesn't even intrude on the person next to you and stuff. Um, that's pretty cool. It's just things like that that make me think like yeah there's just too much utility there that like that can't not be the future, you know, like that it has to be where we're eventually headed to. Oh shit, yeah, like look he's playing PUBG Mobile with it. Dude,
Freaking cool.
imagine all the mobile users that are going to get pissed when people are like you know they already hate the fact that people play on iPads. Now they got to worry about people playing on Apple Vision Pros.
Dude, is this Casey Neistat? What?
Yeah, I saw his video. He just went out like that's New York, right? He lives in New York.
Yeah.
Oh, that thing looks
Cursed.
so
Cursed.
yeah. It's like what is it called? The uncanny valley thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that thing is weird. I mean, it's better than what Facebook revealed that one time. They had like the the Nintendo Mini, like
with
the
with
graph
with
like
no
PS2.
legs.
But yeah, it's crazy. I keep seeing pictures too of people using them out in public and stuff like people are eating and two people forgot the headset on and stuff and it's crazy.
I'm
Um
surprised at people's confidence, man. They're just rocking those
yeah, dude.
$4,000 Apple Pros out in New York City. Like, dog, you ain't doing that in my
I
town.
think yeah, hell no. That would get snatched so quickly here. Like you'd make it outside the house, get to the corner, and then like you'd be on the floor wondering like, where'd my headset go? Why can't I see my YouTube window?
Oh no, I don't know how to get home.
Oh man. Yeah,
Oh,
it's
dude.
crazy. But it's a cool piece of tech. I'm interested to see like it'll probably take like till 2025 maybe until we start to see like Android competitors like you know on equal footing, maybe
Ooh.
something from Samsung or Xiaomi or something. But it'll be interesting to see if they can replicate something that's like as you know useful like utility wise, but maybe it has like a third of the price tag. Like maybe it debuts at like 9.99 or something. Like that would be pretty crazy to see. Still too expensive though. I wouldn't be able to get it, but One can dream, right?
Yes. I'm gonna get
But
my Apple
yeah,
Vision
man.
Pro.
That's the future, dude. We're gonna be in 5 years. We're gonna be doing this podcast in the Apple verse with our Apple headsets on, looking right at each other, even though we're like thousands of miles away or whatever.
I'd be sick.
I saw a video too. I think you can actually do that. I think you can be in the same room with someone and you guys are both wearing the headsets, and that uncanny valley like avatar of theirs, you can literally place it over their head, and it replaces, like, through the headset, it replaces their what they look like with that. And I don't know why you'd want to do that, but
That's
apparently
crazy.
that's a thing. Yeah.
Well, I think we reached our conclusion, Jab. What do you think?
Yeah, I think that's a good amount of topics for us to cover. I will be trying to do timestamps. If you're made it this far into the podcast, I'll be doing timestamps so that you guys can go back to certain topics or skip to one, because you don't want to hear about another and stuff like that. Hopefully, in the future, me and AB do have more plans for the Beyond Mobile podcast too. Maybe face cams, maybe getting some guests on here that are popular in the mobile gaming community. That way you guys can get a third opinion on things, and them bring their own stories and their own topics and stuff like that. That'll be cool. But yeah, make sure you guys let us know in the comments down below if you guys are enjoying the podcast. And that's pretty much all I got, dude. You got something?
No, that's pretty much it. Thank you so much for watching, guys. We hope you guys enjoyed the podcast episode today. And like Jab said, I'll also be making timestamps for the video. That way you guys can skip around to the topics that interest you or go back to a previous topic if you want to catch up on something. And just want to give a big thank you to Jab. Jab is an amazing person to work with, and this would not be possible without him. So big thanks to Jab. And also keep giving us feedback in the comments down below. Let us know what topics you guys really enjoy, maybe which ones you don't enjoy as much, or if you guys want to see face cam and stuff like that, or ideas for the podcast episode, for the podcast, let us know. And because we definitely do go through and read everything, because we're trying to make this bigger and better and become your favorite podcast of all time.
Oh yeah. Also, a big thank you to you, dude. I forgot to mention it, but yeah, big thank you to you. Thank you for taking time out of your day to do this every couple of weeks and stuff. It means a lot. Always really, really fun to do it. And yeah, if you guys have not subscribed to AB yet, please make sure to do so. Trust me, if there's any mobile gaming content creator that deserves a sub, it's this guy. So
Nah, sub to Jab. Road to 25K, baby.
getting close, yeah.
Almost there.
You're getting close to 10K too, dude. So we got to get you there as well.
We got to put in that work.
But yeah, guys, thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys have a fantastic rest of your day. That's it from us, and we'll see you guys in the next one, all right? Peace.
Peace.